Hello everybody and welcome back to another video from Maths Problem Solving. Today we're going to be doing a question which is an algebra question. So let's get into it. Okay, so ABCD is a rectangle and CED is an equilateral triangle. Okay, and AB is X centimeters and BC is Y centimeters. So let's just label all the information which we have onto the diagram. It's always a good first step of working. So this is X, this is Y, and this is equilateral, so this is also X, as is this. The perimeter of ABCD is 100 centimeters. Okay, so therefore, if we just go around this way, ED plus DA plus AB plus BC plus CE equals 100 centimeters. So 3x plus 2y equals 100 centimeters. So it's just good to label everything we know. It's just going to make our life very easy. And the area of ABCD is r centimeters squared, and we need to show that r is a certain value. So I guess there are two parts to this question, so I'm just going to label this as like A. Maybe I'll just label this as R1, the triangle ECD as R1, and I'll label the rectangle as R2. So R1 equals, R total equals R1 plus R2. So let's just work out what R1 is for starters. So we'll need to use the area sign rule to work out what the area of this triangle is. So we know that a half times A, which is X, times B, which is also X, times sine of C, which is sine of 60 degrees, because this is equilateral. That is the area. So let's just work through it a bit more. So a half x squared times root 3 divided by 2, which is the value for sine 60, is the area. And we can write this a bit more simply as root 3 x squared all divided by 4. Okay. And now for R2, let's just work out equation for R2. R2 equals basically just x times y. But as you can see, the question wants us to show that r is in terms of something which is x. So we know from this equation 3x plus 2y equals 100 that we can rearrange for y. So therefore 2y, sorry, I'll just rewrite it a bit zoomed in. 2y equals 100 minus 3x. Therefore y equals 100 minus 3x all divided by 2. Therefore x times y equals x times 100 minus 3x all divided by 2, which we can rewrite a bit more concisely. 100 minus 3x all divided by 2. Okay, so this is R1 and this is R2. So we need to merge these two. So let's just go down a bit over here. So R equals x 100 minus 3x all divided by 2 plus, and this is the triangle, remember, the square root of 3 divided by 4 times x squared. Okay, so let's just write this a bit more concise. Excuse me. So we can factorize this in terms of dividing everything by 4. Sorry, that's not what factorizing is, but we can write this as everything divided by 4. So 2x, 100 minus 3x, plus the square root of 3 times x squared. And now we can factorize x. So we have x divided by 4. And, okay, we just need to be careful in this stage of working. So we have 2 times 100 minus 3x plus the square root of 3 times x. Square root of 3 times x. Okay, now let's just work through this a bit more. So x divided by 4, 200, just multiplying out the brackets, minus 6x plus the square root of 3 times x, which equals x divided by 4, 200. Now let's just factorize minus 6x plus the square root of 3x to plus x, the square root of 3 minus 6. Excuse me. And that is our final answer. If we just go back over here, we just need to write this in a slightly different way, and we have our final answer. 200 minus x. So because we're doing minus x, we'll need to make the minus 6 positive 6 and negative the square root of 3, which is our final answer. Okay, so yeah, let's move on to the second question which we have. Okay, so here's the second question which we have. The diagram showing a shaded region S is formed by removing a regular hexagon from a circle. And the side length of the hexagon is 8 centimeters, and the shaded area equals the area of the hexagon, and we need to work out what the radius is. Okay, so I guess the total area of the circle is effectively twice of the area of the hexagon, because if the area of the hexagon equals the area of the shaded region, then yeah, that's just how it is. So pi r squared, where r is obviously going to be the radius of the circle, equals 2 times the area of the hexagon. I'm just going to draw a hexagon like this, which we'll come back to later on. So now let's work out what the area of this hexagon is. So this is the hexagon. One of the side lengths is 8, and we need to work out what the area is. So, like, there isn't really a set formula for the area of a hexagon, but what we can do is just divide this into 6 equilateral triangles. So the reason why these are equilateral, if we just zoom in a bit, the interior angle of a hexagon is 120 degrees. So these, all 3 of these lines, which go through the center, bisect an interior angle. Therefore, this angle which I've just shaded in is 60 degrees, as is this, and so is the one in the center because of 6 angles around a point. So everything is 60 degrees. So basically the area of this hexagon equals 6 times, because remember there are 6 triangles, 6 times the area of one of the triangles. So now let's work out what the area of the triangle is, which is 6 times, again we need to use the area sign rule, so a half times A, which is 8, times B, which is also 8, times sine 60, which is the square root of 3 divided by 2. Okay, so Now let's write this a bit more concise. So 6 times 64 divided by 2, so 6 times 32, times the square root of 3 divided by 2, which equals 6 times 16 times the square root of 3. And now 6 times 16 is 96. So all of this just equals 96 times the square root of 3. Okay, so now the total area of the circle is 2 times 96 times the square root of 3, which is 192 times the square root of 3 centimeters squared. So we need to work out what the radius is, so let's just rearrange. So r squared equals 192 times root 3 divided by pi. And if we square root both sides, so r equals 192 times the square root of 3 divided by pi, all squared. So now if we just input this whole thing into our calculator, it's also very important to show this stage of working just before we input it in the calculator, because we want full working marks, obviously, and if we don't do this, it will cost us a mark. So all of this gives us the value of 10.288 centimeters, which just equals 10.3 to 3SF. So yeah, that's basically our final answer to this question. So that wraps it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something new. And if you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.